Hello, I'm Alyson Richman, the author of Un giorno, tutta, vita. I thought I would begin by telling you a little bit about the inspiration for this novel. I was getting my hair cut at a local hair salon, and writers, you see, we always are listening to other people's stories, even when we're not supposed to be listening. So I was eavesdropping, and I overheard this person telling a story who had been to a wedding where the night before, the bride's grandmother and the groom's grandfather had never met before. But throughout the evening, the groom's grandfather kept on saying to the bride's grandmother, "I know you from somewhere, I know you from somewhere." And she didn't seem to recognize him, but he persisted. And at the end of the evening, this time he looked at her perhaps even more closely and said, "Roll up your sleeve." And she did. And when she did, there was the 6-number tattoo of Auschwitz inked into her skin. And he looked at her again, and this time even more closely, and said, "You were my wife." And when I heard that story, I thought that is an incredible, amazing story, and would really be a fantastic first chapter of a novel. And I imagined that I could use it almost as bookends, the beginning and the ending of a novel, but creating the journey in between of these two people. And my characters, I named them Joseph and Lenka, these two people who have been separated from the war for over 60 years, who are reunited at this night, each having married someone else and having children from someone else. Another aspect of the book which is interesting is that I explore many different types of love in this novel. There's not just the overarching love between this couple that is estranged for 60 years and then they reconnect, but also the love between parent and child, the love between sisters, but then also the second love that each of these characters experience after the war and the lives that they build with each other as refugees. And it's really this love which is probably the most interesting because it has so many different shades of survivor guilt, of building a family after the war, and then the haunting of having left someone behind who you think has died during the war. The novel also explores the power of memory, and returning to this wedding scene, you must ask, why does Joseph have an inkling of memory of when he sees Lenka after all these years, and yet she doesn't recognize him at all? And the way I've written the novel, it's so that the character who has suffered the most suppresses memory in order to survive, but the one who's had maybe an easier time clings to it in order to survive. So there's many different themes in Un giorno, tutta, vita, and I hope that you will read it and enjoy it.